Hi guys, welcome to my channel. First time viewers, always welcome. I'll be discussing the Glock extractor and a possible improvement with the Lone Wolf take on it. So what we have with Glocks is a lot of times when these things get a lot of mileage on them, the ends break off them on the very bottom, and it's designed to be a serviceable part. This is a perfectly good extractor. I don't have one that's chipped to show you. Not yet, anyway. Eventually, this one will chip. It's just a matter of mileage. And it's designed to be thrown out along with a whole bunch of other serviceable parts at a service interval based on, round count. So they don't spend a lot of money making this part. It's a metal injected molded manufactured part, MIM, and we know that without a doubt because of the sprue that you see here. And you might also see a line that goes across, and you might see a cresty top on the pivot, and that's all indicative that this part is a metal injected molded part, or MIM. And they're not heat treated, they're sintered. I don't know if I'm enunciating that correctly, but heat treated parts typically are cast parts and machine parts. And the theory is with these guys is if you put a round in the chamber and slam the slide home, when the extractor snaps over the round, repetitively, that the corner being like the weakest part of the claw would break. And we can see a wear pattern here where it actually contacts the shell. That's that shiny area you see there. So it doesn't necessarily have to impact the shell to cause that to happen. So that's one theory. And the other theory is the feed angle that these operate can cause that tip to break as well. So when we look at the Lone Wolf, we see that it's machined because we actually see like tooling marks in the finish, those lines. Right there, those lines. It's from being machined. It's polished. So it's not a MIM part. When you put them side by side, what you'll end up seeing is a major difference in feed angle when it comes to the extractor claw. You can tell the Lone Wolf is more angled than the Glock. So in compact and subcompact applications, you would get a better feed with the Lone Wolf, you would think, than the Glock. So if you have a Glock 19 or 26, you would theoretically buy a Lone Wolf part as a preventative precaution, and to prevent the possibility of that tip breaking, They do cost more. Well, that's the major difference between the two. And Glock runs a lot of different models off from, particular parts. So if you have a 17 and it has an extractor, chances are it's going to be the same extractor that they use in a 19 and 26 and all of their, 9mm models. So Well, with that being said, the initial design probably was the 17, and they went, in different directions with that using the same part. And so you get that same feed angle. But in compacts and subcompacts, you get a steeper feed. So what that means is the round bears more on the claw. Say you got yourself a compact, let's say it feeds like this, and then you get yourself a subcompact, it's going to feed like that, So the smaller the gun, the steeper the feed, right? So, and also being angled this way, you can catch the rim of the shell a lot easier. So that's a major difference between Lone Wolf and Glock OEM. But if you were to use the Lone Wolf in a stainless slide, stainless on stainless is a very bad idea when it comes to small parts, because stainless is a metal that galls, and that's adhesive wear. And when the two parts aggregate against one another, they end up sticking, and you typically don't want that. But I think for this part, it probably wouldn't matter. But that's one thing to consider. I mean, if you were to put that in a standard Glock, where you've got your steel slide, not an issue. If you have a stainless slide, you might want to put the MIM extractor in. And, Lone Wolf does make MIM extractors with their proprietary feed angle that is uniquely different than the Glock design. And Lone Wolf, over the years, it seems, has improved Glock's understanding of things with their slide releases and their slide locks, and some of the ways that the barrels are made. Seem like Lone Wolf would make it, and then Glock would kind of shadow them and catch up, try to beat them at their game. But that's just my opinion. I don't know if that's the case, but I do know that Lone Wolf had replaceable back straps way before Glock even tried that. So, there's a lot of kudos when it comes to Lone Wolf, but their parts can be more expensive than Glock parts, because their parts aren't designed to be serviceable. They're designed to last. So there you have it, the difference between a Glock extractor and a Lone Wolf extractor. And the Glock extractors are well known to chip on the low end of the claw. And the Lone Wolf ones, I don't know. I've never seen one chipped. I don't know too many people that buy their extractors. I bought one because I had to have one. They're awesome. It makes sense to me having a better feed angle. I don't want my extractor chipping, and I don't want to replace it. I want it to continue to run the life of the gun, just worry about replacing springs. But that's me. So it's up to you to decide what you want to do with your gun. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.